That's so fun. That's really interesting and, like, such an edge you have. Because, like, we've done a lot of interviews, and, like, people don't dig like that.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Damon Campbell here at 20 Monroe Live in Grand Rapids, Michigan, with some very special guests. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yes.
What's up?
We
We're
are
the Aces.
the Aces.
Oh my gosh.
The
Aces. I'm Katie. I play guitar.
I'm McKenna. I play bass guitar.
I'm Cristal. I sing.
I'm Alisa. I play the drums.
Great to meet you guys. Definitely appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you.
Now, anyone who follows you closely is probably well aware of the fact that you come from a very religious hometown and even grew up singing in church, whereas I understand it was sort of a come to Jesus moment involving Lord that led to you deciding to pursue music as a career.
I've never heard someone describe it as
Came
that.
forward like the musician.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Like essentially. Wait, she's like actually coming to the Lord? No.
Oh, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, I think we grew up playing music together, for years, and just seeing her work ethic and her drive was really inspiring for
She was
us.
similar. I think she was a little bit younger than us.
Yeah.
when we saw
It's
her
like a
win
It's
all
like
the
right in the
Grammys.
middle. She was
Yeah.
a year older than me, year younger than you guys. So she was like right in the middle, and it was like there was just like there was a. I mean, honestly, come to Jesus is probably the best way to describe it. It's just kind of like we were debating like whether these girls who were seniors at the time were going to go to college or we were going to do music, and we all were watching the Grammys the night that she won all the
For pure
3 or
heroin,
4
yeah.
Grammys for Pure Heroin, and we were just like, it was just really inspiring because it's like, here's a kid also from a small town, our age, who's doing it. Like our dream, like we should feel like we
Yeah,
can do
it kind of just made it like gave us this like confidence to be like, oh, she's like a young girl and she's fucking killing it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if I can't swear, freaking
No, you're
killing
good.
it. And it was just really inspiring. And I think all of us kind of looked at each other and we're like, no excuse, ladies.
Yeah,
Let's get to it.
totally. And talk about things coming full circle. Her manager at that time is now your manager.
Oh yeah.
He is, yeah.
It was just a couple months, maybe like 5-6 months later that we started
Wow.
working with him.
So
Things
it
move
was
quick.
really cool. Yeah.
It was like very
it's just,
serendipitous.
I was actually talking about this with a friend. I think either a friend or my mom. I can't remember about this the other day. And
Same thing, hey.
Like, same thing. My best friend. And basically, I was just like, it is so interesting because what you put out into the universe, I think, really comes back to you. And so as soon as we made up our minds, like, okay, we really want to go for this, like, we just started working as hard as we could, like, in our little hometown. Like, it was like, we just really put our feet to the fire and we're like, we need to get more music out. So we got into the studio the next week and just tried to do as much as we could do on our own,
For sure.
just like as far as we could push it by ourselves. And like, just fully came full circle and ended up in like, an email chain from our lawyer connecting us to our now manager. And it's like, oh, he manages Lord. And I was like, that is insane.
Yeah.
Like, but we really like put that out into the universe, as
Totally.
like hippie as that sounds.
No,
like that was our honest, like earnest desire, was to be able to make this a career, and like things really kind of just ended up happening.
So
Yeah, and I
crazy.
think having that experience like helped us to know that we were supposed to be doing what we were doing. It was like really reassuring.
For sure.
It's like later down the road, if it was like ever hard, like, this is like a lot of work. It was like, no, like we've been so blessed to be able to have cool things line up like that.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned how like each of you kind of had a plan B at one point. Like Katie's goal in particular was to play college soccer, being that you're actually a state champion.
Wow, you do your research.
Thank you. This is flattering. Thanks for doing your research.
Yeah.
But
State champion not only in soccer but basketball as well.
Whoa.
I didn't even know that.
We've had no one bring that up. It's amazing.
Yeah. Wow, so
Yeah.
sweet. Yeah, college sports was definitely a big deal to me growing up. Definitely something that I wanted to do, but like making the decision between like, I think for all of us what we wanted to do, it came to this point. It was like, you have to decide now.
Totally.
And it was this breaking point of like, no, like music is it. Like that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do forever. Like I want to make my career. That's like what my actual passion is. And I
Yeah.
think we all knew that. Cristal especially, she always knew that. Never wanted to do anything else. And it was that come to Jesus moment.
Especially just like the bond between us four, because we have such an extensive history, because like we really are family, and that was so organic and natural that like just grew on its own, and it felt like something that was really meant to be
and
a part of our
something
lives.
that we saw, but even parents saw, people around us saw, and we're just like, how can you let something
They're
so
like,
special
you guys
go?
is we would have people in our hometown, be so kind to us. And I remember specifically there's a guy in our hometown named Corey Fox who owns one of the venues there that we played.
Velour, right?
Velour, yeah, all the time. He's amazing. And I remember him just sitting down with me one day and just being like, hey, like, you know, he's like, I know you guys are in high school and stuff, and this is kind of like a hobby for you. He's like, but I just want to let you know, like, you guys really have something, and if you want to push it, you absolutely can, but you're going to have to work really hard for it. And I remember kind of just like that validation, like we would get that from people in our hometown, and it really kind of set in seeing Lord. I was like, we have a chance to do this. And so we either need to take it and run with it, or just be like, it was a beautiful thing we had through our teen years, and
it's too good though.
You know, but it was just too good. Like it was like
too good. How?
It was too special. It was too important for us, and like I think we're even continuing to realize more and more reasons why it's so important as we grow.
I think we all knew it wasn't ending.
Yeah.
Like I knew, like I feel like I always knew in my subconscious that the band was never ending. Like
I agree,
because
I was like,
it was just the decision to actually make it
because I kind of felt like too, like when that became a reality, like an option of like, oh, you're not in the band anymore, it's just like, that's not a thing. Like I like can't like picture my life not being in the band.
Such a part of our identities, you know, because we've been doing it since we were 10 and she was 8. Yeah. So, but I think not to like go on too long on this, but
by all means.
It's just interesting to me because like to bring it back to that point of like, I don't even know if we understood all the reasons why we felt so strongly about it. But like as we're touring and young girls come up to us at shows and they're like, oh my gosh, like I just really feel like I can either go into music or go into like a career path I really want to because I've watched you guys. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's why we're doing what we're doing.
I don't even think so much bigger. We realized how important that part of it was going to be until we like started touring and like meeting these people. So that's been really cool to even further get that reassurance.
Totally. And you have joked how you practically came out of the womb wanting to play music. Especially in McKenna's case, makes quite a bit of sense since you were in fact born to music playing, Enya specifically.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
This is amazing. You're like just our best friend.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yeah.
Do you feel like you have like a special connection to music as a result?
100% to Enya. Yeah. Literally on tour, I like usually only listen to Enya.
Really?
Because it's just so calming.
Her sane.
I'll cry if I listen to her.
Like that,
really
like that
intently.
Spotify, the most listened song out of your year, and her number one was
Enya.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still today.
We're all like very just grew up in families. It's like our parents weren't necessarily like musicians or producers or anything, but they just a lot of music was played in our houses, and like I feel like when like specifically in Alisa and mine's household, how do I say that?
Alisa.
Our household.
There you go.
I remember our parents like anytime that we wanted to line up the mood or like I don't know, just have fun, like anything. Like music was just the soundtrack of our lives. Really.
So many of my memories are just like music just playing in the house, like on a speaker, always singing and dancing to music in the car, like my mom's favorite thing to do. By the time I was 6 years old, I knew like every single word to every song on the Independent Woman by Destiny's Child. So much R&B, so much 80s pop.
And I know that like with Kenna and Katie, it's the same thing. Just grew up with so much music just playing in the house.
I had a lot of family who were musicians, and like all my aunts are really good singers. But I just remember my aunts were in more of a girl like singing group. Okay. And I would just like make up dances to their songs in my living room and just thought it was the coolest thing. It was called Dame.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if they have stuff out. We could probably
we should research.
It's really
we'll dig it up.
Yeah.
No,
it's like Destiny's
incredible.
Child kind of thing.
Kenna actually comes from like insane musicians. Like she has like some aunts, uncles, like relatives that are just like crazy talented. And I remember we would go to their shows and like
That's so wild.
Yeah, they're awesome. It's been fun like talking music with the fam.
Yeah, totally. And having been a band together for over a decade, I suppose it could be said that music was your calling. Speaking of which, Cristal, how long did you have Hips Don't Lie as your ringtone?
Oh, how do you know this stuff? This is amazing.
I swear to God, you haven't said that.
I literally, I don't even know how you found that. It's amazing. I actually did. The first cell phone I ever had when I was like, because we're in the generation where like I don't know, as like 10-year-olds,
Yeah,
like you
totally.
started getting phones. Like we
Of
are
course.
in this generation of
Yep.
like technology, and so I remember the first phone I ever had. I think I was 11, and like you do you remember like those like you could go on the store and like buy little
Yeah.
ringtones, and I
Yep.
literally just like clicked on the first ringtone I saw, and it was Hip So Loud. I was like, that's sick. And
I
bought
literally
it.
remember buying the one that's like love me, say that.
Cardigans.
I
Yeah.
loved that because like we loved that song.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I bought it literally because of our friendship.
I
Yeah.
bought a karaoke version
Does
of
that
Smells
too.
Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
That was my ringtone.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Oh my god.
But
Bring it
yeah,
back.
one
I actually, my first ringtone was "Can't Stop" by Red Hot Chili
Wow.
Peppers.
Oh, that's
there you go.
Nice.
But I
So
actually didn't know what
classic.
it was. It was just actually already in my phone, and it
Yeah.
was
That's
like
what-
the guitar into that. I thought it was such
Tell
a
you.
cool intro, and it goes
Totally.
down, 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 down. I was
Wait,
like,
Katie,
this is so
literally?
dope. And then I found out it was Red Hot.
That's what I'm saying. The Hip So Loud, like I don't even know what that was. I just thought it was like I just heard like that those
First on the
trumpets
list in
like
the ringtone. I love that. Ring. Sounds great.
and I just like that's it.
Yeah.
We were just babies, honestly, 10 years old with a phone.
wrong
Like
with that?
no 10-year-old should have a
my,
phone.
How
my
far
like
we've
brick
come
phone like
from
lit
that.
up on the side.
It's insane.
Think
yeah.
about it though. No one's phone, like, what is it called? Sorry, ringtone is a song anymore.
No.
No
No.
one does that anymore.
It's not a
We should
thing.
Just
bring
the
it back.
generic.
We should bring it back.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I'll
you
bring
can
back.
buy
I mean, I might be
ringtones on
Enya.
iTunes,
Can
can
you?
you?
I'm gonna
You
do
can. No,
You
you
can do
still,
it
you
every
still
time.
can
Oh my
buy
gosh.
ringtones. You
Get
really
us going about ringtones.
Yeah, shout out to
Great.
ringtones.
Get
Shout out to ringtones, yeah.
And your first official EP was, of course, I Don't Like Being Honest, but on your very first EP, is it true that the person recording you, Jason, I believe, actually redid all of Elisa's drums without
Pretty
telling
sure.
you guys?
I'm like pretty sure
We're not
because
positive,
we're
but-
not positive. Like
Okay.
I'm sure he left
heard
some
it.
of my 8-year-old
So
skill
nice.
in there.
He really is.
We don't want to like call it Jason because maybe he's like, hey, I didn't do that. But I feel like I remember like when we like got it back and we're listening to it, there was just like the drumming just sounded a lot different. Like he wasn't a good drummer either. Sorry, Jason. But like I was 8 years old, so I think he was like he like tried to clean some of it up, and we just kind of looked at each other like, I didn't play that.
Yeah, we're like, you never
Like,
played
there was
that.
just stuff on there that was like I did not play that.
Oh, he
Some
was
stuff
so
with the bass,
nice
too.
though. Like
there was some stuff with the bass too. I was
There
like,
was a
like,
bunch of stuff that was like we
in
didn't
his
play that.
defense,
Oh man, that's good.
like we were absolute
We were
children.
8 and
We were
9
literally
Not a whole
little
lot
little
of
kids.
He was
experience
trying to
under
make
your
it
belt.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even sure like any of us knew how to play our instruments at all. So
Was that
I
as
wasn't in the band at this point, so he couldn't replay.
Oh, okay.
Katie wasn't in the band
Honestly.
yet. It was before
It was just us
Katie
three.
joined.
Well, was that as the Blue Aces or all the
Yeah.
way back in the
Yeah.
Rockin' Pigeons days?
Oh,
This is too much.
dude, the Rock on Pigeons had a
Rock on
life
Pigeons-
of like 2
that
weeks.
was like with
Of
your
2 weeks.
with the
That was
neighborhood
like
boys.
7 years
Yeah,
old.
Kenna
like
wasn't even
neighborhood
rock.
boys. I was
Yeah,
like,
Kenna wasn't even
Oh,
involved.
it's just the
Yeah.
two of
Crystal
us.
and I have been trying to put
The
together
Rock on
bands
Pigeons.
like forever, and then Blue Aces was the actual one that worked when
That
we were
stuck,
like 8,
yeah.
and then Kenna was in that. and
My God,
we stuck
this
with
is
that.
amazing.
Gnarly startup band names too. My first band was called Snapping Dragons,
Really?
and then the second band was called Broken String.
Any particular reason?
Because in the middle of practice, my guitar string broke,
Okay.
and then my best friend,
legend.
my best friend
Thanks,
Tanner
Sam.
was like, "That's the name, Broken
Yeah.
String," and we were like, "Sick!" Like we thought it was this crazy.
Came
thing.
about organically.
Yeah. Yep.
It's really interesting
is.
because like a lot of times when we take interviews, like people really only talk to us about like I Don't Like Being Honest on, which is only like a year old,
Right.
a little
Yeah.
longer.
most of our
And
careers have been
most of our career has been way before that.
For
So
sure.
like Blue Aces stuff and all that, like a lot
Like a
of people don't
glacier
know
or
about it.
something.
Yeah, it's interesting to answer questions about that because we do have such an extensive history as a band.
Totally. Happy to help shine a light on it.
There you go, shining a light on the Rock on Pigeons.
Yeah, for sure.
They need
Taking sort of a twist here, is your guys' brother really a blue belt in jiu-jitsu?
He is, yeah.
he's
He really is.
Has he shown you any
savage.
moves or anything?
He's,
Oh
like,
yeah,
amazing.
he's like it's classic. Like every time I remember as like kids and stuff, like well, like not even that long ago, I'd be in the kitchen like making a sandwich or something, and like all of a sudden like an arm around the neck, and I'm like Mitchell, stop.
He's genuinely terrifying. He's such an amazing fighter.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. He
Well,
has
an
you
incredible
just have to see a
Yeah,
photo
yeah.
of him.
But
yeah,
it's-
you do need to see a picture.
It's
of him.
been
He's
really
terrifying.
awesome though because like he's so into fitness, and that's really inspired like I think definitely me and Lisa, but like our whole, we're all really into
Yeah.
fitness, and that's
Yeah.
what keeps us really sane on the road is to be
Yeah.
able to go exercise, work out, eat healthy, and so having like an older brother like him has been really cool because he's taught me so much about that.
Totally.
And I think we all just share knowledge about fitness, and it's like a really big part of our lives.
Because I can see where that would get tough on the road, fast food and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we
can't.
never
Oh.
eat fast food. Like we always like go
You
to
can if you
Whole
want, though.
Foods or we
Panera
like
Bread.
pack. We eat We eat really healthy.
But we go out of our way to eat really healthy. Like Whole Foods is our staple.
We're like, oh, there's not a Whole Foods for 3 hours.
Oh,
we're waiting.
It's worth it to go out of your way to eat good.
You just can't.
It pays off throughout the day. It pays off throughout the week. Like,
We've never eaten fast food on the road. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Never.
We don't eat fast food. Yeah. I mean,
knock on wood.
not technically, right? Because sometimes you go to.
We had Arby's at one time.
I never ate. I didn't eat.
Define fast food.
That was by choice, and that was on like a let loose day.
Yeah.
That was like on a day.
If we ever have fast food, it's because we are feeling silly. And
We definitely will have we'll eat bad food, but it's like good bad food in Chicago deep dish.
Yeah, like it's balanced. Like, okay, we're in New York. Let's go get like ramen.
Yeah. Because we've both. I mean, we haven't been touring very long. We've really only been touring for like 6 months, 7 months, and so.
And yet on your third already.
And on our third, so it's been pretty busy, but. I think, we have compared, I know for myself at least, like like eating super, super healthy on the road and eating like really not healthy on the road. Yeah. And it's just like so different. It's so much harder. Like, I feel like.
Because we're getting so much better at it. Like, now we're like, our third tour, we're getting the hang of the lifestyle. Like, okay, like, because it can be super, super like vigorous and like you have to be up early to get to the next place because like we're in a Sprinter van right now too, so a lot of our days are taken up by travel and being sat in a van, which blows. But like you have to when you're doing that, like when so much of your day is like sedentary, you have to make sure that you prioritize and put away time for exercise and like go get active, go stretch, go do stuff. So a lot of times like we're getting so much better at like really making sure we get up early enough to get a good workout and shower and be on time to leave. Yeah. And like just stuff like that and just really eating healthy. I remember our first tour, it was harder. I feel like we were more tempted by like treats because like you always stop at gas stations and stuff and we were more like
candy.
I won't eat gas station candy.
No. So I'm the biggest sweet tooth
Wait,
on
gas
the
station candy's the same as all candy though. It's just candy. What do you mean gas station
I
candy?
just like a cake or something.
Yeah, you like dessert more. But it's I think we're getting the hang of it because as you're touring you have to really find those things that make you feel normal and sane and like exercise. Like I bring a diffuser everywhere we go now. Like just making like giving yourself those like little extra minutes or like snippets of time to be alone. Like it's just important. It's self-care is super important when you're touring.
And I imagine you get tired of having to defend yourselves against lazy comparisons to other female bands, or in Cristal's case, perhaps just tired in general since you were voted sleepyhead in your high school yearbook.
Oh my gosh, I had 3 classes with Cristal. Our senior year, we had 3
much.
classes together.
Guys, I just knew I wanted to do music.
Or I'd look over in the back corner, head down, hood over, head, sleep.
Oh,
hilarious.
Do you remember when our house would get calls and like my mom would get a call from the high school principal and be like, hey, your daughter's missed like her first period all week. And she's like, what? She goes to school on time. Sleeping in the car in the parking lot.
It's too much. Guys, don't follow my example.
In a blanket in the backseat.
I had to work really hard to graduate high school because I was procrastinating. But that's always been like definitely a weakness of mine. I've gotten so much better as I've gotten older, but like they're getting up early, especially for school.
I'm right there with you.
My superlative is most likely to be a rock star.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got voted the only girl that played an instrument or like played guitar in the whole school.
Did you guys have any? Or?
I got class clown.
Really?
In junior high, I had 2. I can't remember the first one. These are so dumb. My 9th grade one was most talented.
Okay.
True.
I feel almost guilty saying that. Like,
you feel
hey, they picked it, not you.
It's the Utah humility.
Was so weird. I just like it was like it was like most school spirit or something, and I was blown away.
What? It's like when you're in 6th grade and they like just have to give you an award. You know what I mean? They're just making them up at this point.
I was like, okay, cool, I'll take it. And I got to be in the junior high picture and everything. So
there you go. There you go. Totally. Speaking of voting, I understand you've played your fair share of obscure gigs over the years. Like, for example, even a rally at the Utah State Capitol.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
before
that's
Katie
like
was in the
such a
band.
We were so little.
We were really little. Katie wasn't in the band yet. I was 13. I think Alisa was 11.
Okay.
And that was like the stage of our career where we were so young that we were just playing anything. Like we'd play anything. We didn't even know what it was. Like I remember we actually talked about this like last month. We were like with our family talking about it. We're like, did we play a Republican rally as like little kids, and we just like didn't know.
We
Like,
didn't know
were
what
just,
that was.
Was that a Republican rally?
I think it was a Republican
know
rally,
what it
which is
was.
so funny because like we just showed up and we're like, yeah, show. Like we didn't know what this was. And
there was literally people there being like, "What is this? Where's the senator?" Like ready to see like a speech, like it's a political rally, and we're just like jamming.
because
Why?
ever since we were little
What were we
kids, like
doing?
we were asking, like we didn't care what it was, and especially when you're
Yeah.
like 13 and 11, you
course.
don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And we were just we didn't care what it was. We were just like, hey, can we play?
Yeah.
Did they
like-
think it was just gonna be like inspiring or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they just wanted to like lift the mood or something.
Yeah,
but
like
like the
music,
people,
I don't
it was
know.
all old people that were like
But
down
you-
to shout about the issues, and like they didn't want to watch.
You will be surprised though, like if you ask, people will let you play. It's
Really?
that's what I've noticed. Is like
Yeah.
anywhere. Like
Yeah.
when we were little kids, like my mom would literally call them like, "Can I play?" And they'd be like, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
We
Sure.
played some strange things.
Like we'll bring our own sound system. Okay.
Yeah.
Like it was
All
just
the
like
friends.
sure. Like we've never done a band, but that could be fun.
Totally.
You know. So we really just asked, and it really
We could
gave us a
play
lot
anywhere.
of experience.
We were self-sufficient.
down.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like, hey, we'll set up. We'll
You
set
never know
up
what
the
could
stage at this
happen.
point.
Tiny amps, tiny PAs.
Crazy. Is there anything else you'd like people to know about the Aces?
I think you've
covered-
really
That's
done
it. Just check out
That's
everything.
I mean, our debut record just dropped.
Yeah.
Give it a
Which is
listen if
fantastic,
you wanna.
by the
It's
way.
called When My Heart Felt Volcanic, and we hope you guys like it. So please go
It's a
listen.
2-week-old baby.
Yep, she's a little baby.
Yeah, is it 2?
Is it 2?
She's getting so old.
It's 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks on Friday.
She's getting so
3 weeks
old.
on Friday.
Little angel.
Give her a spin. She's great.
Well, thank you so much for your time, guys. It was great
Thank
chatting
you.
with you.
Thank you.
Best wishes of everything coming your way. Any final thoughts at all before we say goodbye?
Thank you.
Bye.
We love this.
I don't know which
Farewell.
camera to look at.
Farewell.
Great.
There you have it. Once again, I'm Damon Campbell, and these are the Aces. Thanks for watching. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That was awesome. I thought it was so bad.